Hi, so I have been thinking about shooting a video on AI. Its uses, how I have been adopting it in my day-to-day life in the past few months over the years, and how it has helped build solutions that are not only cost effective but also something that people look up to, individuals look up to. They come to me, they ask, what have you done through AI that is working so well for your organization, for what you're doing on a day-to-day basis, and what more can be done through AI. uh, I'll take you through a basic example on the portal that I have here. It is called Made Better with AI. Uh, the headline that you see here is AI isn't here to replace you, but to place you better. Why I say that is because AI is a very disruptive technology. Like what has happened over the years is that people are losing out on their jobs and on the use of AI, and they are kind of fearful of the technology. They don't really adopt it well, and they try to tend to shy away from it. This isn't something that we really want. We want to be adoptive towards AI, and what I want to do over the course of time is to take you through a few examples that you can adopt in your day-to-day life. You can work on these particular models, and hopefully you'll be at a position at the end of this course wherein you know that yeah, AI is a technology that I have also started using, and I'm now pretty confident in using AI over the period of time and building solutions through it. So don't let AI build the solutions that you are meant to build, but let AI build the solutions with you. And it is about making those solutions better. So if you are a developer, if you are someone working into product management, and if someone comes and asks you, what do you think about AI? I think the best way to answer that is AI is a technology that I have adopted, and it is something that helps us build better solutions, right? And those solutions are quicker. So imagine a team of 10 people doing a task, right? They also charge you for that particular task. You don't really know how to code, right? AI has changed all of that. There are projects that take around 2 3 months to build, but you can build those solutions yourselves, right? Like in a month, in a week, even if you're that motivated or that dedicated. So we are here to achieve that, and I'm here to help you achieve that. So let's get into it. uh, if you look at this particular post, and I'll be sharing the link for this particular post at the end of the description as well in the YouTube video. You can also subscribe to this channel if you feel that this is something that relates to you and is going to help you, right? So yeah, why we kind of call it Made Better with AI is because every solution that you will be looking at in this particular video over the course of this particular project is something that is a better version of what you could have built yourselves, right? If you're not too advanced a developer, I think this is the best place for you right now, because this particular solution will help you get there, wherein you can develop really complex projects as well. But to get there, a basic understanding of how to talk to AI, right? How to prompt AI into building a solution that you have in mind is something that we'll be going through. So yeah, I think I'd like to hold a bit here. There are a lot of different programming languages that you go over the course of time. Some people tell you that okay, C, C++, Java, React Native. This is what you should be working on. Then Python, R, and these technologies are endless. But if you're into developing digital solutions, a very basic thing that you should be knowing about is HTML, what HTML is, what styling of content is, and how to script or how to write scripts, right? That can make the content dynamic. So that is something that you should be knowing. And prompting is just basic English. It also need not be too correct, right? Like in terms of how you are putting it grammatically, but AI is able to help, get the idea of what you're trying to achieve. So this is just a basic game that we'll be developing at first, and this is a game that we are developing through ChatGPT, also through basic prompting within ChatGPT. So I've mentioned the steps here. I'll be creating the game in this particular video, just copy pasting whatever is present here in bold and putting it out as steps for GPT to perform. And then we'll be playing that game, looking at how good that game is. The game looks really basic, or would be looking really basic, but yeah, you can also build onto it. We'll also go through how to ideate a game, what to think of when you're looking at a game, right? When you're looking at building a game. So yeah, let's get to it. So the first step is about telling GPT that we are going to create a game, and it is kind of a cool maths game for us, where there are 10 digits, 1 through 9. So why I'm mentioning 10 digits is because we are going to create a game that helps solve complex equations like problems, equations, all of those. Not too complex, so we aren't going for double digit equations here. We are only going for single digit equations. So there are going to be 10 digits. There are going to be 5 symbols that are going to be followed. So there's multiplication, minus, plus, equals, and division. uh, what we are also going for is a timer. So a timer, because when you look at maths and when you look at maths equations, uh, I think the competition arises when you're trying to solve them quickly. So there's a timer that you would tend to beat, or that you would try to beat, to achieve the answers quickly, right? And that is also fun for the users to perform as a task. We are also going to ensure that the BODMAS rules are followed. So it is something which is very obvious, right? And it is something that GPT should already know, and it does. But what we are trying to do here is to make sure that all the rules that we are putting in are followed. Or if there's a rule that is at the back of your mind and you want GPT to specifically follow that and to build the code, the HTML, the overall prompting should be around it. So that is what we are going to put in. There are going to be 10 equations that we are going to extract from GPT. Those equations are built through AI. So we are not going to tell GPT that what are those equations going to be. We are going to let it think of what those equations are and then present them to us with the answers. The answers are something that will be shown at the end screen. You just have to answer the questions till then, right? So what a user will be given are 10 different equations and a particular time limit to solve them. Then we tell GPT what the structure of those equations are going to be. Structuring of these equations are important. So prompting is about putting forth in the correct set of words and also as many words as possible to GPT to perform the task near, like in terms of getting an output, the nearest output that you're looking for will be easily received if you're giving it the right prompt and a very detailed prompt of what you're thinking. So that is the agenda here. Then that answer should have predefined equations that it creates, and it should reward the user with a point when they answer. Uh, any activity isn't fruitful unless it is rewarding. Even this particular video, now when we are going through building this GPT, right, or this particular game, it won't be rewarding if you're not able to look at what the game looks like, or it doesn't seem rewarding if you're not able to play it yourself or make it yourself. So yeah, same is for the user. We are going to give them a point every time they answer correctly. At the end, we are going to add a final score on the basis of what the users answered. So these 9 or 10 steps, wherein one thing additional that we are also going to let it provide a beautiful UI layout and structure it as a cool game. Now UI is something that plays a very critical role into how users kind of look at something, right? So whatever is going to be presented to the user, which is a user interface, is something that we are giving chat GPT a chance to build. uh, GPT models are trained through hundreds and thousands of data points around what a good UI looks like. So it is something that it already knows. We are going to extract it from it. There's one thing that I kind of missed in this particular post that you guys can go for. If you don't really know how to code or what a particular piece of code stands for, uh, when I'm building this particular thing, I'm going to mention that add comments for whatever you are building. So I'm going to get GPT to add comments as it is building the code. So you can go through the comments to understand why something is doing what it is meant to do, right? Yeah, and that is how we learn. So let's start with it. What I'll do now is I'll just scroll to the top where I have step one. So now what I'm going to do is I'll just quickly copy this, open chat GPT and start with the prompting. uh, I should be logged into the ChatGPT account. If not, you can go to ChatGPT and log in. So the URL that you are trying to visit here is chatgpt.com. When you get there, you will be given a prompt to log in. I've already logged in, so it doesn't give me that prompt. And we'll start with building the code. So we just copy paste the step one where it says help me create HTML for a cool maths game, right? Step two, there are 10 digits. We have given it examples. Examples aren't required, but it helps make sure that GPT has a sense of what you're trying to do. The step three is there are 5 symbols, which we have already gone through. Uh, then we have the step four, wherein we tell it that there's a timer of 30 seconds that it has to add for each question to be answered. 30 seconds should be enough for it to answer, like for a user to answer any question. We ensure that the BODMAS rules are followed. Then we have the step 6, wherein we say, or we ask it to create 10 equations for us. Then we have the step 7, wherein we have let me just put that in a different line. The equations are to be structured like digit, symbol, digit equals an answer. So it has like 2 digits and like 2 symbols for it to answer. And the user is expected to process that and give an output for those. Then we copy the step 9, and then we have the final step. Like I mentioned earlier, what I'm going to do is to make sure that you get an understanding of what individual pieces of code are doing. We are going to ask it to give me comments for whatever you are building to help understand what each piece of code does, right? And then we are going to simply press enter. Now let it go ahead, let it process. And yeah, I kind of do a lot of work always on my system, so it is always out of battery, but no issues. So while the code is building, I think what we are going to do is to make sure that this particular thing, once it is built, we are going to copy it, we are going to save it as an HTML file, and we are going to run that, right? But yeah, what I want to show is, if I go to the top of the code, I'll see that like in some places I can see that it has put in those comments. So it says setup of digits, symbols, and 10 equations. It also says to track which equation is active, to track the score, 30-second timer for each equation. The comments for some reason have only be added in the script. If you ask it to give comments for the div tags here with different classes and all, and what these individual style sheet is doing, it will be able to give you responses for that as well. So yeah, I think I'll not go ahead and explain it to you in this particular video, because there are going to be multiple videos like this, and I'll have to then do it for each and every step, right? So this is something that I would like you to understand yourself, because when you're building it in the next game that you build, you have an understanding of how this is getting structured. uh, Learning development is also about doing it yourself. So as much as you code yourselves, you'll get an understanding. I'm someone who is from a biotech background, who is from a commerce background, and from that I shifted into development only because I know how to code. I gave it that much time to get an understanding of how to develop. So that is something that you should also go for. It isn't difficult, it can be easily achieved. But yeah, you have to keep at it, and initially it might seem a bit tough, but you eventually get there. So yeah, now we copy this, and quickly, like, I'll just give me a minute, I'll open a new tab here. So I'll close this, and then I'll go to it editor. This is an editor by W3 Schools. I have been using this website for a lot of learning that I do. It is a very basically like it's a very basic website in terms of what it has to offer for the different things, but it will give you like a very good base to build on, like in terms of your knowledge of how HTML, CSS, JavaScript and all are written. I'll copy this code here and I click on run. So when I click on run, you can see that on the right hand side it renders, when you paste this in your HTML file, what the users will see. And this is all dynamic, so you can see that there is a timer. It gives you different questions following the BODMAS rule. So yeah, the answer should be 12 here. Then we have the next question. In BODMAS, like you know, it goes from left to right. So 9 minus 4 is 5 and 2 is 7. Then you have this question. So you have 10. I'll try to now answer them as quickly as I can. Yeah. 9. It's also 9. Not bad. Right. So I would have answered one of the questions wrong. What should have also happened is the exact answer to these particular equations should be given here. Now, whenever you are building something through GPT, what you should know is it might not give you the appropriate or the most correct answer when you look at the first draft of something. So when you structure it in your system, when you're building it in your system locally, have multiple files in place and have a save of the previous file. So you copy this, you put it into a different file that you have, and you save it as a backup. And there are multiple backups that you will be building over time till you get the final version of what you're trying to adopt. There are some additional solutions that I had written here to make this game a bit more cutting edge, like in terms of what it achieves. So if you're able to calculate all the remaining time for each question and you rank the players based on that, that is something that is a cool feature to have. You add brackets, you add double digit numbers, make the equations more complex. You also try building a similar game using alphabets where users can create words with a combination of letters. So the games aren't really like only related to maths. It can build whatever game you're imagining, just that the prompting should be right. You can also add equations with digits on both sides of the equal sign and solve it for x. So yeah, you can make it more complex like that. This is an HTML for the initial game that I had developed, so you can copy paste that and you can put it as an HTML file and see what it renders. Uh, Generally 90% of the time it gives you the same response, but there are chances when it will give you like different responses. So if you ask it to build a different UI, then it gives you like different responses. And a simple change in prompt can also lead to very different outputs, so make sure that those prompts are correct. I've also given a basic understanding of what CSS, JavaScript, prompting is, what basic HTML is. But what you should do to start with learning how to write basic codes, right, and that too with now AI coming up, I think it is an easy learning. Just go to the w3schools.com. You can also prompt GPT to teach you how to code, right? So try that. Let me know in comments how you feel about it, and yeah, let's try building this. You can also stay tuned. Just go to Made Better with AI. Go ahead and subscribe to this particular channel that I have on Substack. Again, I'll put the link in the description. Over the course of period, we'll be building a lot of games. You can also host these games on your own website and see what response are you getting from different users. So this is a cool live project to have with AI. Something for professionals, that if you're building through AI and you know how to build these solutions, this is something that is an added plus to your portfolio. If you are a college student, fresh out of college, or if you're a few months into the job, this is a good way to learn about AI. So yeah, hands-on approach is something that you should go for no matter who you are with AI in your particular field. And yeah, I hope this helps. We'll see you in the next video.